I can hear you perfectly.
Sweet, perfect. Well, to be honest, with Zarya, I don't really, well, I don't play her nowhere near as enough as any other of my tanks. So, for that answer, probably because I don't make that conscious thought too.
Um, okay. I'm actually now that you said you don't play Zarya often, that's interesting. So, is this entire VOD that I'm going to be reviewing of you about your Zarya gameplay? And if so, why do you want me to review your Zarya game?
Uh, Purely because one, the team that I scrim with, I play off tank, and for the longest time, off tanks were well. I was mainly a main tank player, but in the scrims I play with, the team I have to play the off tank role. I feel quite competent with Diva to a certain level, but my Zarya is very lacking. So I feel that one, for the enjoyment of me learning a new character, Zarya is someone I like but don't understand as well. Plus, at the same time, the reason why I wanted to be looked at is for that reason of learning how to play her, and then add that to the team.
Okay. So, okay, I see your reasoning here. So now we're here to basically improve on some Zarya. Just want to go and excuse me.
Nice.
I love deflating my insides.
Now you gotta let it
So there's
out.
no. Okay. What is this? Is this live? No, this isn't live. Oh no, it says live. I'm guessing it says end live.
Where's this?
Here. Oh, let me paste it to you. The link.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Let me know if you see the arrows.
Give me 2 secs.
Like gameplay.
Okay, opening it up. Q.gg. Hopefully, I don't have that issue again about logging in and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Syncing the video. Screw to bronze.
Oh,
Close.
did you get sent
Yep,
somewhere else?
I can see the arrows.
Okay,
And
perfect.
you
That's
skipped
awesome.
something. Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's already like in. I just let it play. That's all.
Ah, cool sound.
All right. So we're gonna go to over. Oh wait, no, we started over here. So we're gonna start at the beginning because it's perfectly set. We're gonna trash this canvas.
So before we start, just for you to know my knowledge of Zarya. So again, my knowledge is quite limited, but the only thing I kind of have put into conscious thought is the use of her bubbles in terms of what I understand of it. And from what I understand, for her projected barrier is just to enable aggression for the main tank, and for her primary, her self bubble is to allow myself to get into LOS of the enemy while respecting my corners to get some charge and do some damage, etc. And then when I'm in high charge, using it more aggressively.
Yeah. So the self bubbles, your way of using it sounds extremely passive aggressive,
Hmm.
mainly passive, not really aggressive. Because you basically say that you use your bubble to get into LOS of the enemy. Is that your like ultimate goal with just basically using the bubble? Like,
Ultimate goal
are you?
is to extend past the corner, which I would not normally able to get charge, obviously. And then when I have that charge, and then I use it aggressively while using my main tech, as in quote unquote my corner to use to go around, and then just push past it once I have bubble.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you what sounds awkward about that.
Mm.
The fact that you're basically only using bubble to like push into LOS of the enemy is pretty much not utilizing 100% of the bubble. Every time you there what you call it. If we look into part of this clip, I think right about I can't here. Let me just go a bit further. So right around over here, you kind of just you basically wait no hold on, it's actually before this. You do kind of like use your bubble to like just get into LOS of the enemy, but that's it. You don't really use it to like aggress onto the enemy because you got to remember that Zarya is tanky. She has 400 HP. Okay,
Mm.
with the bubble, she has 600. So, and especially if you try to shoot her, she can do a ton of damage. So Zarya is a very tanky, high DPS, medium to close range hero that should not be disrespected. You as Zarya need to create a lot more pressure, more left clicks, more pushing onto the enemy. You need to be more. You need to what should we call it? Utilize your self bubble for not only just closing in on the enemy, but creating the threat where you either kill them or you force them to become very passive at the start. Because if we go to like let's see this part right over here, this Zen is very easy to push on because you have your barrier.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, right there. You have your self barrier. So basically, you can walk up to this end, and if he tries to shoot you, you can just still like left click. If he tries to shoot you, you can like left click him, right click him at the same time. Go for that pick real quick. Zen's only 200 HP. You have 50 energy. You could like go in there with an early right click. So you need to recognize um, that you're able to use your bubble more aggressively and that you're able to create stronger threats like getting picks, for instance, in this case. If you have your bubble, it allows you to be extremely aggressive. When you don't really have your bubble, that's when you're supposed to basically now start relying a bit more on others to help enable your aggression. You
Mm.
became because without your bubble, you kind of become more of you kind of become more of a damage supporter where you just basically throw in tons of damage and like just and then maybe do a bit of aggression. Like you would only aggress as far as your 400 HP would allow you. Otherwise, if you have your self bubble, you should be playing much more aggressive, trying to get much more value, trying to get much more presence in the battlefield. Because right over here, you're playing very passive and inactive as Zarya. You're not really doing much. You're just like damaging shields, and then despite the fact you kind of like push. I think you press into this. Yeah, you press into the Zenyatta, but like you immediately get distracted and do something else. So over there, you could have killed that Zenyatta immediately. Let's even analyze this part. Let's go back a bit more because I want to see how long you could have like pushed onto that Zenyatta, and my control keys aren't working. Oh no! So we're just gonna use my mouse because that's better. So we're gonna go back into this setup here. Actually, no, that was perfect. Whatever. This will work for now. So we'll just have to watch a bit through. You got honestly, you kind of have a bit of a weird setup here. Oh yeah. When I was watching this video, I saw over here, right around. Okay, we're just gonna start from the beginning. But like right around here, I would immediately expect you to walk up past this corner just to get charged. Like that should be something instinctual and like jotted down as like the basically one of the first basic skills of Zarya is when your team is not doing anything, get charged.
Mm.
You need to build out a charge while your team is doing other things that won't really require you. You know what that you know what I mean?
Yeah, like a dead
Yeah.
spot in a way.
Exactly. So right over here, you just kind of like hang around the corner, and during these few seconds, you could have already popped out a bubble and absorbed some damage and got yourself a 40 charge. And with that 40 charge, you probably could even like put in some right clicks over there. So that's definitely a missed opportunity. But yeah, so you need to be more proactive with getting damage. Like right here, there's even another chance right here. They're just spamming down choke. This is like a perfect reason to actually go out there and get charged. You want to do it while they're shooting, not when they stop shooting, because there's going to be cooldown periods when teams just stop shooting if there's nobody there.
Mm.
Um, for example, if an Orisa, so say for instance, this is the Orisa over here, okay? If she sees that there's nobody gonna like push past this corner, she's gonna be like, oh, I'll just stop firing my gun. And when they push past the corner, then she'll start firing. So that's what you want to do is you want to pay to is what you call it is when they start shooting. So like maybe say for instance, you peek out. They're the main instinct thing that they're gonna try to shoot is basically anybody who tries to peek out.
Mm.
That's what they're gonna try to do. So if Zarya peeks out, they're not going to immediately be able to react to you. They're already going to have fired their shots, and you'll already have gotten your charge. and then and then when they stop shooting, it'll be too late because you'll have got to like maybe 24 charge.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's just a side thing you need to know. Just main idea: be more proactive when you're not doing any when your team's not doing anything. Right here, this could have definitely have been like maybe a 60 or 50 if you just took
Secondary
advantage
fire.
of that choke more. So I see over here you're kind of like, oh, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to pause. Oh well. Things are like that sometimes. I also want to this is pretty good right over here. You try to enable your main tank and stop the Mei from getting a nice freeze onto your main tank. This is also good. Enabling. Actually, wait, hold on. Let me look at this enabling one more time because I have a feeling this is maybe a bit off.
So just for you to know, everybody was in comms obviously for this match, but for some reason but my team's comms weren't recorded. So I continuously asked main tank when he wanted the bubble, and whenever he said bubble, I just gave it to him. So if the bubble looked off or whatever it might have been, it was because he asked for it. That's why I gave it to him.
Okay. Well, let's just if since you're recording it, maybe you can show him this part because at this moment, if he asked for the bubble at like this exact moment, in my opinion, it's a bit too early. I feel because there's still a bit of distance between him and the Orisa. I mean, this is a main tank thing, so like this is something that he should have been able to calculate better, where he basically pushes up first, then you bubble him, so he's allowed to swing. The reason why you bubble him is so he's allowed to swing without getting damage or CC. If you bubble him before he's able to get in range of his swing or hammer, then he's not going to be able to do that. All you just did was just enable bubble for him to walk forward without needing to hold shield, which is pretty useful.
Plus, I suppose no cooldowns were baited potentially as a result for free.
Yeah. So over here, gonna press on the Zen.
So the reason why I didn't press the Zen then was because I got halted back and I got slightly worried that if I kept on pushing the Zen, I might have not had my bubble enabled and I might have been punished in some kind of way. So I guess retreated back behind my
with 88
main tank shield.
Charge. Well, you have 88 charge and your team is behind you. You're up 2 picks. This is not a time to be playing passive. This is a time to be playing aggressive as hell.
Okay.
Especially if especially if your team is like up a person. Activity is favored above all when you are up in numbers. Do not like play passive. Do not play defensive. Go out, get the kills. You have the composition especially for it. Rein, Zarya, they're meant to be playing forward. They're meant to go forward. They're meant to play aggressive. They're meant to be active and get lots of damage and pressure in. So as a Zarya, you need to play more active and pressuring because you're letting them. You're just letting this Orisa and Sigma block all your damage. The things they're mainly worried about now is just mainly the fact that they're down a person and that the Junkrat is probably gonna destroy their shields, so they'll have to like probably alternate. So like while in a long fight you could win, theoretically, it's just better to play. Realistically, it's just better to play more aggressive when you're up a person.
Okay.
Yeah. This right here is okay Zarya gameplay. You kind of get distracted here from your main tank. What do you get distracted for? No, that's not what I want to see. That's way too far back. Okay, so basically you're worried for your Junkrat over there. I'll be honest. It's a viable worry. At least you didn't. The one thing I'm glad you didn't do is you didn't negate your Rein just to worry about the Junkrat. That's good.
How do you mean negate?
Basically, take your attention away from the Rein support and everything, and just like leave the Rein there alone, giant a desert.
Right.
Support.
I find that when I'm playing off tank now, because beforehand as a main tank, obviously you call out the aggression and the direction and stuff. I do find as an off tank you're better enabled to let the main tank know when not to be aggressive, as in when to walk backwards and not push. Is that the role of an off tank as well? To let the main tank know that when I'm not with you or the team's not with you, to allow him to get confirmation of when to be aggressive. Is that right in saying?
Consider that not a. I would consider that a nice skill to have.
Hmm.
Not really required in the role because the main tank's role is to also be aware too about when to engage and when not to engage. If the main
Okay.
tank doesn't know this stuff, he's just gonna get himself killed a lot. Like how your main tank is gonna get killed right here
Hmm.
because he didn't know when to stay passive. Um, or yeah, when to stay passive since he has no team behind him, and he basically pushed into a 5v2 uh, with no HP.
Mm.
So if your main tank is playing like this, I mean, a nice good handicap is to help like let them know when to be aggressive and when not to be aggressive. However, it will be detrimental long time since it will be detrimental long term since your Reinhardt will probably get more. Your Reinhardt's just not going to end up improving, so you need to make sure that that if this is your scrim partner Reinhardt right here,
Mm.
that he does improve on his awareness and knows what to push and what not to push. He needs to know his conditions.
Mm.
If he ends up pushing into a place where he's going to get killed and he doesn't recognize it, you're going to lose your Reinhardt. Your Reinhardt needs to recognize the condition.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Luckily, you have your Moira here and your Farrakhan to trade. Oh, that's weird. Why didn't your Moira just fade?
He's a friend of mine. I spoke to him. I said, why? Because I looked at his POV. I said, why didn't you fade out? Because he had it off cooldown. He said to me, I thought the bubble would save you. My brain just didn't switch on, and he just died. He had it off cooldown. I don't know why he didn't do it.
Brain dead. Can't be having things like that happen. You gotta be careful. Your Moira died there. Your Moira got punished there because he underestimated his enemy. Over here, let's look at this part right here. So basically, you're kind of like doing damage. This is like pretty good. You're doing damage. This is what you're supposed to do. I would have expected a right click to have been thrown over there, but you didn't throw a right click, so that's bad. I
Okay.
would have expected a right click to be thrown right over here, especially since you didn't need to reload. I would have expected a right click to be thrown once you turned around the corner, and a second right click at that moment, and then see if you could like land a few shots. And then a nano shot is coming from that side. I would expect the right. Oh, you reload at 75. Okay, so that's bad reload timing. That was a nice track. That just
I have a question then. With Zarya's reload, right? So obviously with Orisa, I'm taught very minimalistically reload, use the whole clip all the time with her. Very well, I suppose Hammond's similar-ish since he reloads in his ball. Now with Zarya, because I find that if I'm holding the beam for too long, and I don't reload when there's like a dead period in the fight, I do find that I'm trying to kill something, I run out of ammo. So what is a good habit to have with her reload? Like example, the reason why I reload at 75 was because nothing was happening, so I just reloaded for the sake of reloading.
So a target that you are trying to go and kill for should only take less than a mag for the Zarya. If that means so, if you are missing your shots with Zarya, that's why you end up reloading before you can kill him, is because you end up missing more of your shots. Or another thing is that you're preoccupied doing something else, and then you automatically see a target, but then you're already like half mag down. So when you try to finish them off, you don't have enough of your magazine to be able to finish them off. Instead, they just live and taunt you because you're already preoccupied doing something else. So basically, target prioritization is important. Like, do not if you're switching targets often, that's definitely likely why you're not
burning something down.
Yeah, that's why you're not killing people, because you don't have. It's because you end up spending it shit on something else. So yeah.
So it's like more as coalescence, where you're using it on one target and then suddenly switch to another target without just hard focusing on one, in a way.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yep. Okay, so I'll be honest. If I was a Zarya here, I'd be a bit more commanding to the Reinhardt because since you're Zarya, you can see this. You can see the actual conditions that are met for your Reinhardt right over here. So, whatchamacallit, as Zarya here in this position, I probably would have told my Reinhardt peek the corner, and then peek the corner and have Ryan like hammer around corner,
Mm.
and then immediately back up. Or even better, which is a bit more safer, you have the Reinhardt hammer around the corner, and then when he starts taking damage, you bubble it
Mm.
and tell him to get the hell back, so that way you can save him. And basically, while they try to chase him, their Reinhardt's gonna have to put their shield down. So that's like a small thing to know. But the main thing is that they're gonna be trying to kill the Reinhardt, and they're not gonna have any really cover. Meanwhile, they're pushing. So this will give you a perfect chance to get a nice juicy right click in there and get your grab. And if you can possibly do it, if you have a very powerful mind, you probably could calculate this within a few seconds. If you are able to work up to it. Reinhardt Reinhardt push forward, hammer around corner. Come Reinhardt push forward, hammer around corner. Come back. I'll bubble you. And while you're bubbling him, you right click, and then because you're close to your grabs, because you know you have your grab in your head. Then you would also press tab just really quickly to see if Anna has her nano, or if you're more prepared of a planner, which is smarter to do, then you would basically already have known if Anna had her nano, which Anna does definitely have her nano. I have not seen Anna. I've seen you guys play very aggressive, and I have not seen a nano used so far.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure you guys still have a nano. I know you guys probably switched to Anna recently, but like, you could definitely get a nano within like this, like quickly. So you could definitely do like a grab nano Reinhardt, and that would just immediately like just put them back over and spawn.
Okay.
So yeah, that's just like an example play I'm just telling out.
So I mean, what other situations should that be like a default mindset? Well, not mindset, like a default playbook play to use to. For example, let's say if we have this like in a sporting context, let's say here's our playbook and here is a play for us to get the Ryan in position to swing into a free nano grab.
Oh, you mean basically? Okay, so the it's not really exactly a playbook that you want to remember. It's the condition.
Mm.
I was able to recognize all that in the video because I saw the condition that were met. In order for the enemy to push into the Rhine, shield must be down in order to damage Rhine. Whatchamacallit. And if Ryan decides to push forward, he's going to need a shield, or else he's going to just get mauled around the corner. And then if the enemy team pushes, well, one thing you should always think about is like more things you think about in a fight, the more prepared you'll be against the enemy. So, say for instance, if you prepared about the ultimates in your head and how you could like combo them, and the enemy doesn't do that, you have an advantage in terms of ultimate planning. So you could strike them tactically wise with a nice ultimate, and a play too, whereas the enemy can't.
Okay.
So basically, it's about thinking. It's about thinking about more factors in the fight, seeing more opportunities, and then just planning more on the spot.
Okay.
Or not planning more on the spot. I'm sorry, not planning more on the spot. That's incorrect. Planning more in advance, so that way you can see. So that way you can see what to do before the fight happens.
Okay.
Over here, I feel like a lot of the play here was just mainly reactive. I didn't see much planning, so I mean, this is expected for a diamond level game. Your Reinhardt is like playing way too passive here. I can tell you Reinhardt's not really good at awareness because he doesn't seem to recognize conditions. He just sees hold up shield and like stuff. I can tell he doesn't pay attention a lot. So when the payload is actually getting close to this point over here, what are you supposed to do?
Prevent a recontest.
Exactly. How do you prevent recontest?
Putting pressure.
Yep.
So I assume stay with Orion and hold the pressure on the corner.
Exactly. That's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you have all your resources dedicated into like holding that corner, not letting them get on. Cause you could even sacrifice Orion if it's just maybe for a few risk of seconds to like actually get the payload to push
Mhm.
onto it.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't want to give him space past that corner, which is good. Exactly.
I think at the time my thought process was, uh, but we would have captured it anyways. Just stay on payload. But I suppose it was a higher level scrim game, and they had, let's say,
Do
ult
not
available.
underestimate your enemy
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah. That's one thing you should never do. Play correctly. You are not allowed to underestimate your enemy. However, you are allowed to punish your enemy.
Mhm.
Because it's okay for your enemy to make mistakes and punish them, to recognize them and punish them, but it's not okay for you to like basically hope they'll make mistakes.
Right. Okay. So it's like I think you mentioned to me when I played Orisa, aggression's a gift. So if you see the opportunity to punish, then it's a gift for you to be
Take it.
aggressive.
Yep, take it.
Right. Okay.
Your Reinhardt's playing way too stupidly aggressive, then. Wait, did your Reinhardt say bubble him here?
I would have to look at the audio, but I would say the majority of my bubbles were on his request.
Okay, so I have a feeling over here in this part, if he did say to bubble, this was stupid by Orion because he has no shield. There's like he's pushing into an area, an LOS where there's just so much people shooting at so much people would shoot at him, and he would, and if he tries to back out, he's just gonna he's got nothing. He's just gonna get like shot down before he can even back out. And why? What was that grab?
There was a request for the barrage, so I fired the grav.
Okay, what did you think? So, did you think about why you should not grab there? Or did you just think about, okay, I'll just grab?
I thought of the thought process was before the checkpoint was captured, the FAR requested for a grav barrage, and I said we'll
Okay.
wait to use it for the next opportunity for a team fight, and that was my main thought process at the time when he requested it. I fired grav, so I didn't really think of why not to fire grav. That's the question you're asking me.
Yeah. That's so okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So since pretty much that happened, well, it is good to think of like aggressive plans. You need to also think about why you can't really just do things for free. Like I could tell you thought that you could just win this fight for free because you actually invested in ultimate for it because you thought you could just combo and then win easy, but that was not the case obviously since the enemy had a lot of counterplay. They weren't just going to let you easily win that fight. They had a shield, they had trance, they even had an aggressive counter, McCree High Noon for ultimate, and they just killed your Pharah. So yeah. And it's not even a good trade too.
So before continuing as well, I'm the kind of person who likes to have like mindset about what the tank's main role is. For example, you mentioned to be about the Roadhog, where he's a high pressure tank through his raw damage and stuff. What
I call it play style, but yeah.
Yeah, playstyle. So what should my playstyle be with Zarya then, or what should I be thinking about as a default? And then
Zarya is amazingly powerful at her offensive capabilities as she is at her defensive capabilities. I literally sometimes hate Zarya if she's on the enemy team because she basically denies everything I wanted to do, and I'm just like, "Fuck you, Zarya." And then the worst part is that when I basically try to fight a Zarya, I just get outmatched by her hero wise. I'm just like, "Fucking hell!" I can't even kill a Zarya because she's so powerful and just like shit.
Hmm.
So what you need to take advantage of when to be aggressive and when to be defensive. So when the enemy feels like they're able to be aggressive or like they have a chance to do something to win the fight, that's something that should definitely be in your mind all the time is like what can they do to win the fight, you know? Mainly it's the DPS that make the play. Like tanks maybe they can make a play, but it's mainly the DPS. And then if it is the tanks that you're probably going to be countering, then just you just basically end up countering the tanks too with their bubbles. Like that's how you do it. You basically usually you build up charge first in the beginning of the fight, and then 8 seconds later it's gonna pass, and you already have like your next bubble to like go in. So yeah. and then
Okay.
you'll be able to use that to like deny sorts of plays. So really, it's just about how well you can also deny plays, and then how well you're able to push off. Now, Zarya's defensive capabilities, it is very powerful. However, the one weakness is that you can kill Zarya while she's trying to kill you, and Zarya doesn't have a heal like Roadhog, or she doesn't have 600 HP like Roadhog.
Mm.
So yeah, her self bubble is her main source of being able to make a play. If you are able to push into the enemy, they try to shoot you, then you use bubble, and then you kill them, and then you can get out possibly. That's your play. Like that's the play you should always try to look for, and that you should immediately recognize on any spot. You should also remember recognize when you cannot do that,
Mm.
because enemies will never let you get away with anything for free.
I think
Um,
well, for me, like
higher up,
I think
higher
maybe
levels.
I think maybe because I'm a main tank player as well, I respect my corners a lot. So that's when I play Zarya. Well, I don't know if it's obvious in the VOD, but when I play Zarya, I only peek if I know I have a corner to retreat back to. So it's kind of what you mentioned to me with my Orisa as well. So I guess they kind of translate in that kind of way. Where, as you mentioned before, I've got that self bubble to be aggressive when I recognize I can be aggressive. But I also, is it a right thing to think about corners still, regardless, as a tank? As a Zarya, anyway, sorry.
You don't. It's not that you only think about corners. You don't just think about corners. You think about shields. You think about your team. You
Hmm.
think about healing, because there's all sorts of things that can keep you alive. Corners is just one of them. Shields, heals, peels. All of those will keep you alive. So you got to think about how you can use those to to be able to extend your aggression just a little bit more.
Hmm.
That's the way how you can improve on to recognizing your opportunities for kills.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Okay.
um, nice denial of play right there. However, your Junkrat still dies because he thinks he's fine.
I could be firing right clicks. Okay, I can see that already. I'm doing it now, but I mean, there was like 2 seconds before I would have fired two other right clicks.
Yeah, so you just got to be more active. You got to have a habit of just like right clicking more. Like right over there, that's another time you could have right clicked.
Hmm.
Like right here, you're at like 80%. Your main priority of one of your biggest objectives, not main priority, but biggest ones, is getting that ultimate back. Look at that. See, it's one right click, you jump from 18 to 23. That's very powerful. You got to
Hmm.
do that a lot more often. Trust me, you'll build up your grabs. You just need to like right click and left click more often. Like never stop shooting.
Like for example,
Usually right, but right click around
go.
those ranges. I would usually right click around those ranges. I would left click because they're too precise of a target to hit, and Zarya does have a bit of lag in her gun.
So example, if you record like a second back, like when I went aggressive and I peeked around the corner and then I walked backwards, I think it just so happens that my main tank was with me in front. But was that the right movement to make? Where yes, I was very high charge, but because
Not
of
really. I would say you could have been more aggressive because remember,
even
you're up to
still,
pick advantage.
yeah,
You're up to pick advantage. You killed their main tank. People are pressing Q.
mm,
That's like those two conditions are more than enough to literally get into the enemy and just kill them. Your Reinhardt recognizes that at least. He knows that he can push into the enemy. He has two people healing him. Look at the heals he has. He's getting so much heals per hour, and so are you. You can get that too if you're to stand in the Moira's Coalescent. That
true.
Moira is like playing very actively there. You need to play much more aggressive. Like you need to immediately react to when your team presses Q, and what Qs they press. Because if you hear a Moira Coalesce, that's like a time to go in. You hear a Mercy use her ultimate, that's a time to go in. Which one call it? You guys get a pick, that's a time to go in. And right now, all of that is stacked together, and that's all screaming for you to go in.
Mm.
These are conditions you must recognize. These are conditions you must recognize in order to see opportunities of when to be aggressive. And this is like a very obvious condition to recognize. Okay,
Okay, yeah.
and this is something that must be recognized.
Yeah, reload there as well. I can see I'm reloading randomly actually.
Yeah, you are. You definitely need to control your ammunition usage. Your Reinhardt just does not know when to stop shielding. That was a sad bubble. Oh well. Unfortunate.
I tried to bubble the Mercy, but I don't know. I just
Yeah,
bubble someone else,
somebody blocked away.
and I stay alive for too long here. Or I made a mistake before.
Yeah, you stagger right here. I usually would never try to stay alive. I guess you probably thought you had your team behind you,
No, I
but
knew it was a mistake. I didn't know why I stayed in it. I thought I could walk back. I mean, it was the thought was I could walk back, and literally half a second later, I was like, oh, this is a bad idea.
yeah. If it's a bad idea, just go walk in front of them and just kill yourself. That way they kill you quicker. By the way, did you see that? Look at that, another 2 seconds wasted. Right here. First right click.
I think,
Second right click.
yeah, I think I was thinking that. Well, this is the order. Well, this is the wrong order in my head. My order in my head was wait for damage to happen, get bubble, and then shoot. Where it should be right click, bubbles, right click. Like it's like I suppose
You
it's
really are amateur at Zarya, aren't you?
yeah. I'm brand new. As I guess it's very similar to what you said before with Ryan. You should always be swinging like all the time, even in your dead period. I suppose that could be the same thing for Zarya. Is always be right clicking all the time.
Yep.
Alright, cool.
Just make sure those right clicks actually have a bit of purpose.
Yeah,
Don't
of
wanna
course,
throw
of course, of course.
bad places. Hey, weren't you? Oh wait, no, you died. You died earlier, so you were probably like around 50. Yeah, this is when you usually reach the critical point. Um, Man, your grab is just getting countered so hard. Wow, your Ryan tried to fight into Entrance. Man, your Ryan is really bad at recognizing. Okay, so let's just go back here. Right over here. This is what you should have been expecting. People coming around the corner and to shoot your teammates. Okay.
Mm.
Since you're the tank here, you should body block your squishies here. You should not let them be able to. You should not let the enemy be able to see your squishy friends here. The fact that the Hanzo was able to see that and the Moira had to fade just to like ensure her safety, that means you didn't body block well enough.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember, you're also a meat shield. You could have even used your that thing earlier. But no, I'll use it later, it's fine.
Be right clicking. Yeah, I can see it. I can really see it now. I'm not right clicking at all.
Yeah. Oh, and do you see it also again? The aggression of when you could be more aggressive. Like, check this out. Let's look at this retreat over here. Let's see if this retreat is even verifiable or if it's even a good retreat. I don't even want to even think it's a good retreat because, in my opinion, it's not good enough. Like, look at this. Here, look at how inactive this is. You left click for a bit, do a small right click, and then that's it. You just like stay. You just try to hold that position. Yeah, I don't even see you trying to like push for anything.
No, I agree.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I'm usually in front of my main tanks if I ever play off tank because I'm always trying to push for advantage. Oh, that was a shitty right click. Oh well.
So what I'm saying then, I guess, is a lot of me just being inactive and not recognizing opportunities to be aggressive.
Yeah, your performance here is underwhelming, as I would say. Like if I was to play against you in this Zarya, I wouldn't even have to I wouldn't even worry with you as Ryan because I know you wouldn't be doing a lot. If I had to play against this Zarya in the game. If I had to play against that Ryan in a game, oh, I wouldn't mind playing against him at all. I would constantly put pressure on him, never let him do what he wants, because I can tell he's a hungry type. Benzilla is so hungry. but he can't eat. But he can't bite on anything because whatever it is, it's just gonna bite him back. Oh, that was not a good reload. That was a funny trance. He should killed his Zen. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so in that first round, then, what do you think I should work on already, or think about?
Basically, be more active, more right clicks, more left clicks. Try to start pushing a bit more forward. Try to create more threats. Like, and also, while it is good to be cautious, start recognize. The main thing I want you to focus on is recognizing your conditions of when to push for advantage and when to push for a kill.
Hmm.
Because those are very important as Zarya. That's like how you can learn how to carry games is recognizing when you can use your bubble to push just enough to do like enough damage to kill somebody. Like, do you even know your burst combo?
I assume
It's
it's
when you're high energy.
burst combo. I think right beam, secondary
Left click.
melee.
Yeah. So yeah. Beam secondary. Melee is like if you're close range. Like that's if you probably decide to go very balls deep into their face.
Mm,
That's maybe if you're like actually playing a more close range comp. Say for instance, Ryan Zarya against Ryan Zarya.
mm.
You would probably use that combo against the other Zarya or Reinhardt since you would mainly be playing close within their range. You know. So yeah, that's a burst you should definitely know about. You don't have to add the melee since if it's more range comps like Orisa Hog, since they'll probably be more further away. But the main thing you want to combo is your left clicks and immediately finish with a right click.
Mm.
Because a right click will burst their HP down to 0 instead of like melting it down. Because melting has a melting point. It goes down. Whereas burst is just like snaps it down.
Okay.
So yeah, that's one thing I want you. That's like basically, and that's an add-on to the main thing that I want you to practice. Another thing I want you to practice is whatchamacallit, recognizing when not to do things. You know, when not to push, when not to make threats. Okay, maybe not at the same time, but like when you feel like you recognize when to push, and you feel like you're starting to get too aggressive, that's when you begin. When you feel like you're starting to get too aggressive in your gameplay, start recognizing why you can't be so aggressive. Okay, you need to look at your conditions, analyze it, and see why you can't push it.
I know it's hard to say.
It'll be obvious things,
Mm.
but it's the fact of just how fast you react to them. You don't want to be slow. You want to also be clear in your head, like you know you shouldn't do this. You know.
I know it's hard to give examples of that, but are there examples you could give to me of recognizing?
That Reinhardt is right there is a beautiful example of being over aggressive.
Hmm.
You're an okay example of being too passive.
Hmm.
Because there's times when you basically just try to hold ground when you could be doing more. So you're like the type of person who doesn't think about pushing. Your Reinhardt player isn't the type who thinks about when not to do things.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Okay. The next bit is defense. It's Orisa Hog. I don't know if you wanna. Well, I personally don't want to be critiqued on that. So if you want to see my Orisa Hog, feel free to.
If anything, I'm mainly doing this so I can help you improve your game. So if you feel like you are not in the mood to get coached on your, which hero do you play again? Hog?
For this competition, Hog, yeah, all off tank.
Okay, so all off tank. So if you feel like you are not ready yet to be coached on your Hog, that is completely okay.
No, it's fine. Actually, go ahead because I know we talked about my Hog beforehand. So, okay, yeah, 100%.
All right. I just thought you said you didn't want to, but oh well.
No, it's
Mine's
cool.
changed, you know. Let's go. Do this. All right, so Orisa Hog. First thing I'm gonna be wanting to see here from your defense: shield spamming.
Mm.
If they play a Reinhardt and Zarya into this, I want to see that shield melted like no tomorrow. If they play a Sigma into this, if anything, I want that Sigma shield to be completely pressured. I want that Sigma to be bullied as much as you possibly can. If anything, also, if you cannot do any of those two, switch off because Sigma is just too powerful against Bunker.
Yeah. Okay.
Or at least switch to Sigma yourself because Sigma Orisa versus Sigma Orisa is just pretty fucking darn cool.
Okay.
So yeah.
I've not played much Sigma, or I've only played against him once as Ryan, and he felt very oppressive.
Yeah. Oh, so Death Ball Doomfist. Still, though, your objective doesn't change too much as the off tank. Right now you got to deal with the main big threat, which is the tanks pushing up and getting too much activity. You want to prevent as much tank activity as you possibly can, and with your right clicks. And if you decide to commit yourself to the tanks, well, yeah. If you don't have to use your abilities, if you don't have to commit to the tanks with your abilities, you can possibly just you can maybe have room to stop Doomfist from doing what he wants. That's if you have room. That's if the tanks give you enough room. Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah. Oh, that's an immediate mistake from the Reinhardt. I want to see if you can recognize the mistake the Reinhardt did. What do you do?
Play it again. I know his shield broke.
No, yeah, his shield broke. Now, what was the mistake he made that led up to his shield being broken at that moment? What was the mistake that made it?
At that moment, he didn't take cover to get his shield recharged again to then be aggressive.
No. Oh wait, are you talking about the mistake that made this situation?
I'm talking about. I mean, so what I saw, I don't know if that's the right answer you're looking for from me. What I saw was that Ryan was potentially too passive in the choke and held the shield for far too long, which allowed us to just keep shattering his shield. He also got bubbled but kept his shield up. So he almost took unnecessary damage to his shield, although he was bubbled. And then this led to his shield being broken, then a free hook from me.
Okay, so that's kind of like the basic things down, but so this is the one thing. So here's the one thing that Reinhardt should not do. If their shield is low, they should not push forward with a low shield.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you don't ever do against an Orisa Hog comp. What that Ryan did right there was completely stupid and just reckless. He thought he could push in with his small ass shield because I don't know what because God knows what. But yeah, this Reinhardt what this Reinhardt did that led him into this situation where they have no cover, shields broken, and they're all exposed, is because he didn't back off. He instead of him taking ground that's maybe more closer behind a statue.
Yeah.
He instead just decides to push him with his low shield instead of waiting for it to recharge and then popping out, taking more ground. Because as a Reinhardt, you want to move, you don't want to stay in place. That's a bad idea. So yeah.
Okay.
Oop, bit laggy on there. Oh well. Just gotta adjust your predictions a bit.
Ever since being coached with you for my, I know this is not a hog VOD video, but I've been very conscious about aiming every single hook and then being almost annoyed with myself every time I miss a hook because I'm not thought about aiming opposed to just throwing it out there. That was a hook I think I just threw, to be honest, rather than think. But yeah, my hog is a lot better than maybe this VOD says. But then again, that's just an opinion. But
that's just probably an opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably depends, You're doing honestly. I say your hog is pretty decent here. Oh, can you? That was the fault on your Orisa right there.
Yeah, I asked. To be fair on him, I did say halt up there, and I saw the Hanzo. I didn't say where the Hanzo was, so I think he just assumed it was above the wall.
Then he should have assumed it was above the wall. How could he not How could he not notice that?
And then I asked them again, and they were Hanzo, but he moved away at the time.
Yeah, the Hanzo's like, too slow. He's just like, I'm gonna move away. That's scary. Well, good job. Oof. That was. Why did your Junkrat even like ult there? He didn't even need to ult. He wasn't freaking obligated to ult. He shouldn't have ulted. All he needed to do is just wait for the enemy to get very weak. If, like anything, if he was going to ult, at least do a rush before that. Oh, that's an F right there. Oh, the Hanzo has gained so much space. Wait a minute. You guys have a 3. Wait, what did you have before the Doomfist? Because I feel like Junkrat. A Junkrat on King's Row Defense? Huh. I'll be honest, I don't know what allowed you guys to do that, but not a good idea. Pretty shitty idea, if you ask me.
My friend just likes to play Junkrat.
Easily snipe.
If
he likes to play Junkrat, then play Junkrat after playing first point and losing. Because I can see obviously he doesn't like Junkrat enough to play him all the way through to the point where he starts switching to Doomfist. To me, that's just like, no. You either gonna be switching correctly, you're gonna be Doom first and then Junkrat, so that way we have a less chance of losing, so you don't play the wrong hero in the competition, or you're gonna play the right heroes.
Okay.
If you want to do something what you want, do it in the right time. This right here, the second point would have been a better time to have played jump because there's more corners, more linearness.
The reason why in comms he swapped up was just to get quicker back to the point. That's the only reason why I went Doomfist.
Oh, I thought. Okay. Well, I have a feeling he's. Oh. That's a lot of thinking. Like, damn, that thinking took a few seconds. I'm gonna be honest. That hook was a little bit slow right there. Now, while I do encourage more thinking in the hook, I also encourage speed because you don't want to give the enemy time to react. You know?
I suppose I should have requested to break the bubble and then fire a hook.
More like sometimes aim is going to be instinctive. Okay, you won't be able to think about every hook. You'll only be able to instinctively aim and just use your muscle memory and flick to the correct place. Right now, the main thing in your muscle memory that you want to ensure is that you do keep your methodology of aiming still in track, but you want to like start making it more faster. So you want to start making it more faster so that way enemies have less time to react.
Okay.
Yeah. Like if that was a GM Zarya, she would have blocked that hook so well. So though, I'm glad you're trying to aim with your hook. Just gotta be faster. Nice combo. Oh, that was actually so needed. Just
no, this annoyed me, this hook, because in my opinion, the reason why I missed was because the cart moved last minute and it just hit my.
That is like unlucky. Holy hell, you got cucked by that cart so hard. Oh, you see? Wait, you see how the Zarya is playing? Look at this Zarya right here.
I'm watching.
Look at that. That Zarya is not afraid. She's basically going up in your guys' face and she's left clicking you. She could even push a little bit more further because she still has the support of her team. That's how you create pressure with a tank right there. That's what you want to do with that. That's what you want to do with Zarya is you want to basically constantly be more active. You want to constantly put more damage out. You want to put more pressure, especially when you have the support of your team. When you have the support of your team, you are the tank. You enable your team.
Okay.
Yeah. That Zarya was able to even calculate that she even had more than enough health to just push that far. Because she knew you guys were weak. You had no Orisa. You guys were down to pick. So she did what she needed. That's how you play it.
I have a question about Hog then. So I know when I asked you before and about who I should look at to play Hog and stuff. There's a guy I follow. I follow him. His name is CYX. I think I pronounced his name. I don't know what his name is, but I think so. Do you know him?
I don't know if it's Six or Sykes. I don't know him at all, actually.
But anyway, he's like, well, from the videos I'm watching, he's a very, very good Roadhog. But one of the things I'm curious to know more about is when should and what opportunities should I recognize when to flank and try and get a hook, opposed to stay in the front.
If your Orisa is good or not, and if your Orisa decides to do more holes. If you're going to play, if you're gonna play flank hog, I'd recommend a main tank that would be able to be more sustained in the front line. That would need to that would not be Orisa, because so like maybe Reinhardt, Sigma are definitely options.
Hmm.
Orisa, if you were basically to do flank hog with Orisa, you're just literally denying the potential of full hook combo. So I do not recommend flank hog with Orisa.
Well, I mean, not necessarily the pairing. I mean, in terms of when to do it. As in, let's example, I'm playing Risa Hog now. By let's say the team is regrouping, enemy team, but that's when I use the opportunity to, I don't know.
Oh yeah, if the Orisa is not going to give you anything to do, that's when you go. Like obviously, you don't want to be limited by the Orisa, nor do you want to limit your Orisa's potential for pulling hooks. So you want to so if your Orisa is not going to give you anything, then you go do your own thing. And
Right.
if you feel like, and then when you feel like your Orisa is actually going to give you something, you take it.
Because one thing I always communicate with the Orisas I play with is for example, when I say I have hook, I always expect them to let me know how many seconds they got left in their halt, because I do find that if I play with a Orisa who doesn't tell me that, my head is just thinking halt, 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 and as a result, sometimes I just stand around doing nothing, waiting for a halt to may or may not happen. Is that a good communication thing to have with Orisa, or is there anything you could add to
Not really.
what?
That's
No?
a bad one. You should be. If your Orisa is not getting pulls and you're just being inactive, I would recommend temporarily switching to a flank hog style just so you could possibly get more value. It's a bit risky, the choice, but it actually gives you a chance. And having a chance is better than having no chance.
Right, okay.
So I'm gonna get back onto the video. Wait, what is this? Why are you just standing around the corner? How long are you just standing around the corner? If it's more than 3 seconds, no, if it's more than 4 seconds, that's bad. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll just go with 5. 5 seconds. Do you realize how much time you would have stayed? Do you realize that how well you could have been able to do a hook behind that wall and actually not really worry about it?
How do you mean? Because I think for me, I was just waiting for my main tank to create space for us to go forward.
Remember what I said earlier about the Orisa basically limiting your capabilities as Roadhog? So, like I said, the Orisa doesn't offer you anything. You go out and get your own. But when the Orisa does offer something, that's when you start taking the pull hook. So at that moment, when the Orisa was regrouping, she wasn't doing anything for you. She was busy trying to get herself into the fight.
Yeah.
And so because you waited for her, you caused yourself to be inactive also when you could have been more active.
Okay. What active thing could I have done then at that particular instant?
Pretty much just it's more instinctive. If people aren't going to enable you, you enable yourself. Just don't kill yourself over it.
So what could I have done there? As in like poked and just shoot right clicks into the shield, or just walk forward?
Poke, shoot, and see if you can get a hook.
Okay.
You can get a hook and get a kill, perfect. You'll immediately swing the advantage into your favor.
Okay.
Yeah. Just real quick. No, I forgot. Never mind. So you're gonna go Rein Zarya here.
The only reason why I felt Rein Zarya is because I just felt like our front line was not winning against theirs.
Yeah, because you weren't playing it correctly. You guys were always forced to like push forward to them. You guys were on attack mode, and that's the thing that you kind of don't want to be.
Mm.
Um, if you guys are going to be put on attack mode, at least establish some fortification of ground to create tons of shield pressure from.
As in LOS, like long sightlines?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. By the way, your beam does not increase by double damage if it's a beam. It's a particle shooter.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
so you want to like use projectiles and shit. So like right click. Nice. All right. I think um honestly it's just a bad game of your hog. We haven't really I wasn't really able to get much from it other than well being able to show you the mistakes that other people made and how to punish it.
Mm.
So any questions you would like to ask? Any comments you would like to make?
For the hog, no. To be honest, this wasn't a hog game. To be fair, so I couldn't really. If you could say anything more about my hog play based off that, awesome. But I wasn't expecting any more because of how short the hog was.
Just remember, if your team isn't offering you anything, go make something yourself. Go
Mm.
make a play yourself, okay?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anything else you would like to mention?
No, absolutely fine.
All right, then. I think we're good here. So, uh, what can we summarize this VOD review into? For Zarya, be more aggressive. You need to recognize your conditions to be more aggressive. And you need to start playing more aggressive, just more naturally, like instinctively, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you feel like you're getting over aggressive, start recognizing when you cannot do things. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I forgot what else I was gonna say. Oh, it was another thing in the mod review. Oh, my head's. I'm so tired right now. I have not slept for a long time. Um, can you like remind me because I can't seem to remember. My head's just not in the mood right now.
What we talked about was recognizing opportunities to be aggressive, understanding that so you mentioned to me personal bubble can be used to be aggressive. It's used to make plays. When you're high charge and when you're up a pick or two, it's all about pushing forward, not being passive. Always be actively doing something, not just standing around waiting for things to happen. Very similar to Hog, but example, I could have fired 2 or 3 or 4 right clicks very easily.
Could have pushed up forward.
Pushed it forward. Body blocking for my supports when I was leaving. I'm a tank at the end of the day. I've got 600 HP. With the grav, you mentioned to me understanding and recognizing, yes, opportunities to be aggressive, but understanding as well opportunities when they can prevent your aggression. Example, the high noon trans against the grav barrage.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I look at this VOD review again, I'll remember more things, but that is what I remembered at the top of my head.
Yep, that's actually pretty. That's pretty good for what you remembered off the top of your head. That's what you want to remember, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
So good job on the. So good job on the learning. Good job on the learning your knowledge and stuff. Let's see how well you apply it and see how well you master. Okay.
All right, cool, perfect. Thank you very much, my friend.
You're welcome, man. Good luck in your game.
Get some sleep, yeah?
Yeah, I'll get some sleep.
See you later, dude.
See you later.
Bye bye.